just cut through the whole box. It was actually 2 TVs, 2 different boxes, and this guy did that, you know, no issues the entire time. Cut through that box like it was butter. This guy has seen a ton, and I mean a ton of pocket time. This guy has probably been in my pocket the longest out of all the knives. What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Miguel, and today we're going to be reviewing this guy right here, the CJRB Pyrite. This is an awesome EDC. This guy has seen so much pocket time, you guys have no idea. I've been EDCing this guy for a couple of months now, so I definitely have some substantial feedback to provide you guys with. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. So what are we dealing with on this guy? So we're dealing with a AR-RPM9 steel on the blade, which from what I've researched is a very nice budget but still solid steel from CJRB. This is a CJRB knife, of course. So we have a drop point blade style on this guy. It is stone washed, as you can see. The whole knife is actually stone washed, and it just gives you the whole exposed metal look to it. This guy has some G10 options in black and some other colors, but I just had to get this guy in the old exposed metal aesthetics, because to me it just it definitely scratches that itch right there. There's some knives that I like with G10, there's some knives that I like with micarta, but man, when they give me the option to get an old metal knife, I'm gonna go for it. I'm definitely gonna go for it, and that is exactly what I did with this guy, right? So what do we got going on here? We have a drop point blade, like I mentioned earlier, right? Got some nice jimping going on up here, which is very nice. A very good sharpening choil there as well, right? Something to keep in mind as well. As far as the ergos go, right, this guy fits completely in my hand with plenty of handle still left on the other end. I have average hands, not too big, not too small, but as you can see, I'm able to comfortably get a good grip on this guy with no issues. Just like I mentioned on the RUIKE P801 review, the only thing to keep in mind is you may find this knife a little bit slippery, right? If you're wearing gloves or what have you, if you're not being careful, or if you're like me with butterfingers all the time, because there isn't a pattern or anything printed on the actual handles. It's just this plain stone wash finish. You know, it may slip out of the hand here and there, right? So just be careful with that. Make sure you don't drop it while it's open. Yeah, definitely don't do that, right? Be careful with that. Probably be my only gripe. If anything, would have loved to see some sort of design on the handle, some along those lines, but I mean, the way it is, I ain't complaining. I like it the way it is, so not really something that would be a deal breaker for me. So this guy obviously is a button lock, so we got button deployment all day, every day. We got thumb deployment, right, and it's very smooth, and also reverse flick, like I mentioned earlier. Probably my favorite is the reverse flick, no questions asked. This guy is probably a little bit lighter than the RUIKE because it is milled, right? So you can kind of, as you can see, actually a little bit filthy. There's so much pocket lint going on in there. It's a little embarrassing. That just tells you how much I have carried this guy over the last couple of months. But yeah, it's certainly milled in the inside. No doubt about that. That helps with the weight a little bit. Explains why it was lighter than the RUIKE P801. So something to keep in mind there. The spacers are nice and solid, right? Some solid spacers right there for sure. Pocket clip, yeah, this guy is very deep carry, no doubt about that, right? Just like I mentioned on the unboxing, right? When you put this guy in the pocket, there's no concern about any portion of the pocket sticking out. As a matter of fact, it is so deep carry that a portion of the pocket clip actually stands higher or taller than the end of the knife right there, right? Since we're here, check out the blade alignment right there. That thing is smack in the middle. And again, I've been EDCing this guy for a long time now, and still dead center right there. Now, as far as the blade, right, how strong, how solid is the blade? I want to say that thing is not going anywhere. That is a solid 9.9 out of 10 right there, right? That is very solid. Could it possibly fail? All right, I mean, unless you really try to, you know, throw it off a building or something, that button lock is going to keep that blade nice and locked in place. Let me see, is there anything that I dislike about this knife? Honestly, it's hard to picture anything that I would dislike about this knife, if I'm being honest. I would say I would have liked for the handles not to be milled. I would have liked the extra weight. It would have given me a little bit more substantial weight to it, if you will. But again, that's just personal preference, right? Some people swear by the weight, so they like a knife to be as light as possible. So, you know, there's a nice lanyard hole right here. So if you're into that, it comes out on both ends. So you can put a nice lanyard attachment right there if you're into that. Honestly, there's not a lot that I would complain about this knife for the price point, for what it's done for me. I'll probably put a you know, an image right here of cutting through some cardboard so you guys can see, you know, we bought a TV at home a while back, and I just cut through the whole box. It was actually 2 TVs, 2 different boxes, and this guy did that, you know, no issues the entire time. Cut through that box like it was butter. Right, and even to this point, it's still holding an edge like it's nobody's business. Of course, I know some people were looking forward to this, doing the paper cutting test. So here we are. Let's quickly check how much of an edge this guy has retained over time, even after being EDC'd for a long, long time now. So here we go, without further ado. A little bit of a tear on that one right there. So still getting some decent cuts in, right? Might be time for it to be resharpened a bit, right? You guys let me know. On a scale from 1 to 10, you guys let me know in the comments, right? If this guy needs to be touched up with a nice blade edge. But you can see you still can get some cuts. It just depends on the angle. So let me tell you guys about this guy. What has the experience been over the last few weeks EDC and this guy? I gotta tell you, it's been months now. It's been months since I've had this knife, and I want to tell you, this guy has seen a ton, and I mean a ton of pocket time. This guy has probably been in my pocket the longest out of all the knives. There was a point where I just threw this knife in my pocket for weeks on end, and I wasn't even thinking about any other knife. So if that doesn't tell you something, I don't know what does. I had to actually force myself to get this guy out of my pocket and then put something else in my rotation. I forgot about my rotation altogether when I was EDCing this guy, and I just didn't want to let go. It was just so good of an EDC, I did not want to let it go. During the time I've been EDCing this guy over and over again, this is one of those knives that not only does it get the job done, right, but it's just so fidgety and satisfying, right? This is money well spent right here. Check the links below in the description. By the way, there are affiliate links that do help out the channel at no extra cost to you. But I want to say this guy's going to be somewhere around the $50–$55 ballpark, right? And for that price, I mean, you are getting a very solid EDC, to say the least. So if you guys made it this far, you guys are the real MVPs. I hope that I've been able to give you guys some substantial feedback. Any questions that you may happen to have about this knife and you want to ask me in the comments, please don't hesitate. I'll be answering all questions on the comments that I didn't get a chance to cover on the review. I definitely don't want the review to be an hour long, so I'm just giving you some quick rapid fire feedback, impressions, things that I've been able to observe over the last couple of weeks EDCing this guy. But yeah, definitely feel free to reach out in the comments, ask me any questions you may happen to have. If there's anything in future videos that you would like to see, right, definitely let me know. You know, we can definitely add that for future videos as well. Speaking of fidgety knives, guys, by the time you're done watching this video, it's very possible that the SENCUT Crowley, this guy right here with 4 different deployment options, is probably live in the channel. So if that is the case, I'll put a card right here. That has been it. I hope you guys have enjoyed the video. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Peace.